me turn my microphone on. There's my headphones. Woohoo! They're almost won my coffee time.
Okay. Wait.
Let me see. I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to see if my sound works. You know, yep, my sound works. Okay, awesome. Welcome to the most offensive church. In case people forgot, because apparently people forget that this is a very offensive place. And I don't care about your feel bads because, well, because I don't give a shit about how you feel. Because it's not up to me to give a fuck how you feel. It's not. Anyway, I am on my spaceship and I'm waiting for you guys because we are about to join Jesus shit talking Tory / wellness clinic because that is a fucking great thing that we're going to. Yeah. So buckle up, assholes. We're going.
Yeah. Yeah. So, we're reading book 2 of Das Bible called Jesus. I don't know that guy. So, we're joining him on his tour so we can know that guy. We are on chapter 5 of the second leg of Jesus shit talking tour. We are in the book of Mark, written by a guy called Mark. Everybody is so interested in who these people are and what they chose to choose to pick what Jesus said and blah blah crap. None of that matters. What matters is what Jesus actually said and why he said it, and how the people were talking to him, and how he defended himself with his mouth sword. Because Jesus is a shit talker from way back. Like, he is the OG of shit talking, for sure. And so, we are going to see the OG work his magic in person. So, yay, get ready for this tour. Yeah. We don't have cigarettes or joints rolled. We are not even prepared. I am super late because, well, time passed me by and I was watching Booker T documentaries because it turns out Booker T is a badass. And I was stuck watching Booker T. Because I'm a wrestling fan at the end of the day. I am the attitude wrestler of Das Bible. And I give no shits. And I lean into my character because my character is mostly me. So, just be ready for some attitude era Bible reading. So, we're on chapter 5 of Mark. And it says, then they came to the other side of the sea, to the country of Gerber baby food. And when he had come out of the boat, immediately there met him out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit, who had his dwelling among the tombs. And no one could bind him, not even with chains. Man is a strong good guy. Because he had often been found with shackles and chains, and the chains had been pulled apart by him, and the shackles broken in pieces. Neither could anyone tame him. And always, at all night and day, he was in the mountains and in the tombs, crying out and cutting himself. Now he saw Jesus from afar, and he ran and worshipped him. And he cried out with a loud voice,
What have you to do with me, Jesus of Nazareth, Son of God? Yeah, it's good time. I implore you, by God, that you do not torment me. Yeah, don't be mean, because I'm a nice guy. I don't hurt anybody. I just cry real loud, because, I'm a baby. I'm baby demons. Yeah, words and things. Yeah, so don't be mean to me, please.
and Jesus said, Come out of the man, unclean spirit. Then he asked him, What is your name? And he was like,
My name is Legion, because I am many. Yeah, I'm so tough. Yeah, it's good time. So listen. We don't necessarily want to die, nor go back to where we came from, because it's kind of terrible there. But we noticed all these pigs. So we were wondering, could we go to the pigs? Yeah, we'll go to the pigs. They won't run off the side of the mountain and cost a lot of money. That's not gonna happen. Yeah.
So Jesus was like, Yeah, go to the pigs. So they went to the pigs, and the pigs ran off the side of the mountain. So those who had fed the swine ran and told it in the city and in the country, and they went out to see what had happened. Then they came to Jesus and saw the one who had been demon possessed and had the legion sitting and clothed in his right mind. And they were afraid. And they were like, Listen, we appreciate what you did, but that is a lot of money. Do you literally know how much money that was? Because that was an awful lot of money. Yeah, it was a whole lot of money. So listen, you're gonna have to leave or we're gonna kill you. Because, we don't want to kill you because you're a nice guy and you did nice things, but you gotta go, yo. So Jesus left Gerber baby food. And when he got into the boat, the one who had been demon possessed begged him that he might be with him. However, Jesus was like, No, go, hold on. Go to your friends and tell them the great things the Lord has done for you and how he has had compassion on you. And he departed and began to proclaim in all Decapolis all that Jesus had done for him. And they marveled. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. Now, when Jesus had crossed over again by boat to the other side, the multitude gathered to him. And he was by the sea. And behold, one of the rulers of the synagogue who didn't bother to save Jesus His name was Jairus, so he didn't bother to save Jesus. Weird thing. And when he saw him, he fell at his feet and was like, "My daughter is about to die, so could you come?" So Jesus went with him, and a great multitude followed and thronged him. And a certain woman, she had a really bad medical problem for a long time. And she thought to herself, what if I could just touch him? Right. So she went up and touched him. And Jesus, like, the fuck, yo. Somebody's touching me. And they're like, everybody's touching you, dude. Shut up. And said, touch him. Okay. And immediately the fountain of her blood was dried up, and she felt in her body that she was healed of the affliction. And Jesus, immediately knowing himself that, oh yeah, and he was like, and they were like, everybody. And then he saw her, and he was like, yeah, you're fine, go ahead. And while he was still speaking, some came out of the ruler of the synagogue's house and said, she's dead, dude. And Jesus is like, she's faking it. And he's like, no, she's literally dead, dude. And Jesus is like, no, she's literally faking it. Don't worry. So Jesus permitted no one to follow except for Peter and the sons of thunder. Then he came to the house of the ruler of the synagogue and saw a tumult and those who wept and wailed loudly. And when he came in, he was like, didn't I just tell you she's faking? So he had put them all outside, and he took the father, the mother, and the child and entered where the kid was lying. And then he's like, okay, get up, stop faking it. Everybody thinks you're dead. And then she got up and nobody thought she was dead. But he commanded them strictly that no one should know it and said something. And then he was like, go ahead and feed her, because faking sleeping makes people hungry. So go ahead and feed her. You know what I didn't do? I didn't do this. Okay. Now I did that. Okay. So Jesus said, give her something to eat. And that's the end of that chapter, chapter 5. So, oh God. So we are going to take a smoke break and read chapter 6 because it's long. Oh God, it's so long. Well, chapter 5 was kind of long too. So maybe, how many minutes are we at? Oh my God, we're only at 14 minutes. That's crazy. Okay. So let's take a smoke break real quick and read. Well, actually, we're just going to roll a cigarette real quick and read chapter 6. Yeah. Okay. Then he went out from there and came to his own country, and his disciples followed him. And when the Sabbath had come, Jesus seriously gives no shits. And if you're watching, Jesus seriously gives no shits. Like, not even a little bit. So, Okay. So Jesus came to his own town, I think Nazareth or Galilee or whatever, something like that. And it is the Sabbath. So, once again, Jesus goes into these people's spaces and talks so much shit, it's ridiculous. Like, so much shit that these people actually get mad at him. Because he's like, fuck these guys. These guys are no good. And these guys are like, no, we're totally good. We're going to kill you. Yeah, it's a thing. Okay, so, and his disciples followed him. And then the Sabbath had come. He began to teach in the synagogue. And many hearing him were astonished, saying, don't we know this guy? Yeah, like we literally grew up with him. Like, who is this guy? And notice his mother's or his mother and his brothers, they don't come out to stand up for him because they're not fucking with him. And they don't come and stick up for him. They just let them talk shit about him. And then that's when. And in the book we're reading, Samuel was buried in his hometown. He did his thing from his hometown. He would travel, he would go on tours, and then always go back home. All the prophets were allowed in their houses. Jesus is the only one. And he's like, a prophet is not without honor except in his own home. No, literally, that's only a Jesus thing. Oh, look, right here. Jesus is saying, a prophet is not without honor except in his own country, among his own relatives, and in his own house. See what I'm saying? Like, Jesus shits on his family continually. And then people really want to believe that Jesus' family had something to do. They read this. And just assume Jesus isn't talking about his own family. Because even Jesus' own family shit on him. But people just skip over that. They're like, no, Jesus' life was absolutely perfect. Everybody knew he was the Son of God. No, Mary lied to everyone. Mary literally lied to everyone, including Jesus. And Jesus is in his own town right now. And he's saying right here, my family shits on me. It's crazy. Now, he could do no mighty works there, except he laid his hands on a few sick people and healed them. And he marveled because of their unbelief. Then he went about the villages in a circuit teaching. So Jesus is on his tour. And we are with Jesus on his tour. And he called the 12 to him and began to send them out by two. And he gave them power over unclean spirits. He commanded them to take nothing for their journey except their comfort walking sticks. This is my comfort walking stick. I decorated like I'm Steven Tyler. Because I'm so awesome. But this was actually a tiki torch. But I turned it into a walking stick. But I think I need to cut it a little shorter because it's almost taller than me. It's not a good walking stick. I need to see if Dustin will make it shorter. But he's like, only take your comfort walking stick because words and things. And whatever place you enter a house, stay there till you depart from that place. And whoever will not receive or hear you, when you depart from there, shake the dust off your feet as a testimony against them. Assuredly, listen, I'm telling you, it will be more tolerable for Sodom and Gomorrah in the day of judgment than for that city. So they went out and preached that people should repent, and they cast out many demons. This is the one thing that Paul really did not do, preach repentance. Because that's all. It followed the 10 Commandments and repentance. That was Jesus' whole thing, and it was mostly follow the 10 Commandments. Actually, it was mostly repent and then follow the 10 Commandments, God's rules. And they cast out many demons and anointed with oil many who were sick and healed them. Now, King Herod heard of him because his name had become well known. And he was like, this is Jean le Baptiste. He's come back from the dead. And therefore, these powers at work are him. And others were like, no, it's Elijah. No, it's a prophet. But when Herod heard, he was like, John, whom I beheaded, he has been raised from the dead. Okay. And the reason John was beheaded is because Herod was going to marry his dead brother's wife. He was fooling around with her. And John was like, no, that's fucking sick, dude. Don't do that. But the chick who was in love with power was really mad that John had said that about her fucking around with her husband's brother. So there was a birthday party, and the dude wanted somebody to dance. And so Herodias sent her daughter to do a sexy dance for the king. And she was doing a sexy dance for the king. She's like, happy birthday, Mr. President. Right. And then Mr. President was like, oh, you could have anything you want. Like, even if it's half of my country, I'll give you whatever you want. And she's like, let me talk with my mom. And then her mom's like, you want John the Baptist's head on a platter. And I wonder if he stuck his tongue out like that. Because that would be fucking awesome. Anyway, she said, I want John's head on a platter. Something like that. And he was like, oh, I don't want to do that. Why did I make that promise? So anyway, he made that promise. And they brought his head to her. And he was like, bleh. And she was freaking out. I don't know that to be for true, but in my mind, that's how it worked. So then the apostles gathered to Jesus and told him all things, what they had done and what they had taught. And he said, come on, we're going to go to a deserted place. Oh, yeah. Yeah, my cousin's right. Don't forget to like and subscribe and give me a follow and share with other weirdos and people you think would appreciate the attitude of Das Bible. Yes. Um, so go and rest. For there were many coming and going, and they did not have time to eat. So they departed to a deserted place in a boat by themselves. But the multitude saw them, and many knew him, and ran there on foot from all cities. They arrived before him and came together to him. And Jesus, when he came out, saw a great multitude and was moved with compassion for them, for they were like sheep without a shepherd. And then he began to teach them many things. And when he saw the day was far spent, his disciples came to him and said, send the people out to go get some food. And, stimulate the economy. And Jesus is like, okay, I love you, cousin. Oh, yeah. So go stimulate the economy. And Jesus was like, how much food do we have? And they were like, a little bit. And then Jesus commanded them all to sit down on the green grass. So they did. And then he had taken the 5 loaves and he prayed and he was like, hey, big guy, dad, fish sandwich. Can we have fish sandwich? And God was like,
I suppose. But don't leave the deep fryer on this time. You're going to burn down heaven. What are you thinking? But yeah, you know what? I'll make you a fish sandwich. How many do we need? 4,000 fish sandwiches. Coming right up.
so God made Jesus fish sandwiches. It was a good time. Okay. And immediately he made the disciples get into the boat and go before him to the other side, to Bethsaida, while he sent the multitudes away. And when he sent them away, he departed to the mountain to pray. So Jesus just sat there. He was bored. He was just sitting there and he was bored. And he's like, oh my God, it's so boring. Now when the evening came, the boat was in the middle of the sea, and he was on the land. So he's just looking off in the distance like, okay, this shit's getting crazy. I don't know what's happening. Then he saw them straining at rowing, for the wind was against them. Now, about the fourth watch of the night, he came, he got so bored watching them. He's like, okay, fine, I suppose. He came to them walking on the sea and would have passed them by. But when they saw him, they were like, oh my God, it's a ghost. Right? For they all saw him and were troubled immediately. And then he's like, assholes, there's no such thing as a ghost. There's only a Jesus. There's not a ghost. If there was a ghost, I would have been like, oh my God, it's a ghost. But there's no ghost. Then he went up into the boat, and the wind ceased, and they were greatly amazed in themselves beyond measure, and marveled, for they had not understood. For they all saw him and were troubled. But immediately he talked with them. Then he went up into the boat with them, and the wind ceased, and they were greatly amazed in themselves beyond measure and marveled, for they had not understood about the loaves. What? I don't really understand it either. Okay. They took up 12 basketfuls of fragments and the fish. Now those who had eaten the loaves were 5,000. But they did not understand about the loaves because their heart was hardened. When they had crossed over, they came to the land of Gerber baby food and anchored there. And when they came out of the boat, immediately the people recognized him and was like, we told you to leave. That's not what happened. Immediately the people recognized him, ran through that whole surrounding region, and began to carry out in beds those who were sick wherever they heard he was, wherever he entered the villages, cities, or the country. They laid the sick in the marketplaces and begged him, just let them touch him. Let them just touch his clothes. And as many touched him were made well. Okay, how many minutes are we at? Oh yeah, everybody, like and subscribe. How many minutes are we at? Yeah. We're at 34 minutes. Okay. We can do chapter 7. Let me see if God voice is working.
Is God voice working? Oh, I hope so. What's happening? Hold on. Yes. Oh, God voice is working.
Yay. Okay. Okay. So, chapter 7. Then the Pharisees and some of the scribes came together like butt cheeks, having come from Jewland. Now, when they saw some of his disciples eat bread with defiled hands, that is, with unwashed hands, which is crazy, because who does that? I'm just kidding. Don't wash your hands. It's so dangerous. Washing your hands is dangerous. For the Pharisees and all these terrible ass people do not eat unless they wash their hands in a special way, holding the tradition of their elders. When they come from the marketplace, they do not eat unless. Why do we got to say this again? And there are many other things which they have received and hold, like the washing of cups and pitchers, copper vessels, and couches. When the Pharisees and the scribes asked him, what about the traditions and stuff, dude? Like, shouldn't we be doing traditional things? I don't know if we should be doing traditional things. And Jesus was like, well, did Isaiah prophecy of you hypocrites? Look,
This people honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. And in vain they worship me, teaching as doctrines the commandments of men. Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm God and God Voice. It's nice to see you. Don't forget to chat in the chat. Like, follow, and subscribe. It's totally awesome. Thank you.
the commandments of men.
For laying aside the commandments of God, you hold the tradition of men, the washing of pitchers and cups. And oh, this isn't Jesus' voice. My bad.
Man, many other such things you do. Ought to, well, you reject the commandment of God that you may keep your tradition. For Moses said, honor your father and mother. And like, if you don't, like, it's going to be all bad for you. But you say, if a man is like, mom and dad, you can't take my money no more. I'm moving out on my own. And you're like, no, that's totally okay, dude. You can totally disrespect your parents. No problem. It's not a commandment or anything because Jesus is all about the commandments. Follow God's rules, love God, don't be a dick, and don't murder people. Pretty much the 10 commandments, and you can live by them and it won't be a problem. And like, you don't make them do that, you know, because of your tradition, which you have handed down, and many such things you do. Then he called the multitude to himself and he said, listen and understand, there is nothing that enters a man from the outside which can defile him, but the things which come out of him, those are the things that defile a man. If anyone has ears to hear, let him hear. It's a good time. When he had entered a house away from the crowd, his disciples asked him concerning the riddle. And they were like, riddle me, Batman. What does it mean? And Batman's like, I am Batman. I'm just kidding. Jesus said, why are you so dumb? Look, you, literally, you don't know what that means. Yeah. I suppose this Nikki K and Nikki voice right now, I don't understand it either. Because I'm like, who just washes the outside of a cup? That's kind of gross. You should at least rinse it out. You know, I don't wash my coffee cup for days, but I rinse it out, you know. Okay. Or you don't perceive whatever enters a man from the outside cannot defile him because it does not enter his heart, but his stomach, and is eliminated, thus purifying all foods. What comes out of a man defiles a man, for from within, out of the heart of men, proceeds evil thoughts, adulteries, fornications, murders, theft, covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lewdness, evil eye, blasphemy, pride, foolishness. All these evil things come from within and defile a man. Look at that. The cuss words isn't in there. So fuck off. From there, he arose and went to the region of Tyre and Sidon and entered a house and wanted no one to know it, but he could not be hidden. For a woman arose whose young daughter had an unclean spirit, heard about him, and fell at his feet. The woman was of a different race, and she kept asking him to cast the demon out of her daughter. Oh yeah, he calls her a dog. He's like, hey, you're a dog. And she's like, but dogs get crumbs. She's like, clap back, Jesus face. And then Jesus was like, damn, you got me, bro. Touchy, touchy. Look, you win. Man, you're so smart. You should be a disciple also because you're very smart. Yeah, but anyway, your daughter's fine. Clap back all day. Again, departing from the region of Tyre and Sidon, he came through the midst of the region of Decapolis to the Sea of Galilee. Then they brought him, who was deaf and had an impediment in his speech, and they begged him to put his hands on him. And he took him aside from the multitude and put his finger in his ear. He spat and touched his tongue. Then he looked up to heaven and he was like, open sesame, open sesame. And then the dude was like, bomb diggity, dude. And then Jesus was like, that was totally bomb diggity, dude. I'm so glad. Spiritual high five. Yeah. And the dude was all better and it was a thing. Okay, we already read this. Okay. And he commanded they should tell no one But the more he commanded them, the more widely they proclaimed it. And they were astonished beyond measure, saying, "Man, this guy is totally awesome. He's an awesome dude. Let's kill him." Okay. They didn't say they were going to kill him. That's a secret thing. But anyways, how many minutes are we at? 45 minutes. Man. So, everybody, don't forget to like and subscribe. I see a bunch of you here. I should have a bunch of likes. So, don't forget, hit that follow button, hit that circly button, repost, and chat in the chat because we are almost done. Man, but I am rolling a cigarette. Or maybe I'll hit my one hitter. Let's do that. Oh, that was fulfilling. Okay. Okay. So we're on chapter 8. And those days, the multitude being very great, having nothing to eat, Jesus called his disciples and were like, "Yeah, dude, what are we going to feed these guys?" Because they keep showing up and they're not bringing food and there's no economy to stimulate. So what are we going to do? And they were like, "I don't know what we're going to do. Send them away." And Jesus is like, "No, it's too far for them to travel." And his disciples were like, what are we going to do? And Jesus is like, "Oh, what fish do you have?" And they were like, "Fish sandwiches again?" Man, I'm getting tired of fish sandwiches. It's like eating pizza for weekends on end for months and months. Eventually we get tired of it. But we understand all we have is fish sandwich. So we're totally okay with a fish sandwich. So they were totally okay with the fish sandwich. So then Jesus was like, "Okay, let me talk to my dad." So then he was like, "Hey, hey, dad, we need your help." Hey, listen, I don't ask you for help very often. I just would like uh maybe 7,000 fish sandwiches. I didn't leave the deep fryer on this time, but I did turn it on and heat it up. So you can make these fish sandwiches really fast. I promise. Spiritual high five, fish sandwich. Yeah, we got a fish sandwich. So they ate and were filled up, and they took up 7 large baskets of leftover fragments. Now, those who had eaten were about 4,000, and he sent them away. Immediately got into the boat with his disciples and came to the region of Dalmanuta. Then the Pharisees came out and began to dispute with him, seeking from him a sign from heaven, testing him. But he sighed deeply in his spirit and said, You guys are assholes. I'm not doing this. No, I'm not. I'm not. I've done all these great things, and you're like, yeah, this guy is no good. But I've been helping everybody, and then you're like, we need a sign. Bitch, I just fucking fed 4,000 people with 7 fish. What other sign do you need? And he told them no. And he left them, getting into the boat again to part the other side. Now the disciples had forgotten to take the bread, and they did not have more than one loaf with them in the boat. And he charged them, saying, take heed, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and the leaven of Herod. And they were like, oh my God, we forgot the bread. Oh, we really did forget the bread. Holy crap. What are we going to do? And then Jesus is like, you guys are idiots. I'm talking about bread. When have I ever said anything directly? Never. I only speak in riddles. So would I really be talking about bread? Especially these lazy ass Pharisees. They're not going to make fucking bread. What do you mean? Shut up. I'm talking about the word magic. Like, be careful of their word magic. Them casting spells on you. You're not fucking simple. Quit acting like you're simple. You literally hang out with me. You should be smart by now. You know, even if you're faking it to making it, pretend to be smart. Okay. And then he was like, when I broke the 5 loaves for the 5,000, how many baskets full of fragments did you take up? And they were like, 12. And he was like, well, what about the 7 for the 4? And they said 7. So he said to them, you still don't understand. You still don't understand. Okay. Then he came to Bethsaida, and they brought a blind man to him and begged him to touch him. So he took the blind man by the hand and led him out of the town. And then he had spit. Oh my God. I saw this video one time of a black preacher. He like literally hawked a loogie in this other guy's face because Jesus did it. But Jesus didn't like hawk a loogie in this guy's face. Like it was probably, you know, just like the spitting sound, you know, in this guy's eyeballs. Because this guy wanted to see the color green. But when he opened his eyes, he only seen the color brown. And he's like, this is not green. And Jesus is like, you don't fucking know that. This could be green, but it's brown. But if you go back into the city, you will see green. That's how you go. And he looked and said, okay. Neither go into town nor tell anyone in the town what just happened. Now, Jesus and his disciples went out to the towns of Caesarea and Philippi, and on the road he asked his disciples, so who do people say I am? And they're like, some kind of old school prophet, like Elijah, or they even say you're John the Baptist. And then Jesus is like, well, who do you guys say I am? And then Peter said, you are the Christ. Then he was like, do not ever say that out loud ever again, especially why, look, don't say that. Like, definitely don't say that. And he began to teach them that, oh God, Jesus is so melodramatic. Oh, hey guys. Hey, people of the madness. Welcome. Welcome. Okay. Peter, and then he was like, and then he began to teach them, the Son of Man suffer many things and be rejected by these terrible ass people and be deleted from God's YouTube after 3 days and rise again. And he spoke this word openly. Then Peter was like, please stop saying that. Like you're really, like, stop saying that. You're making people very, very uncomfortable. And then he was like, shut up, Peter. Shut up, Peter. Peter, shut up. And when he had called the people to himself, his disciples also, and he said, whoever desires to come after him or after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whoever desires to save his life will lose it. But whoever loses his life for my sake and the gospel's sake will save it. For what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his soul? Or what will a man give in exchange for his soul? For whoever is ashamed of me and my words in this adulterous generation, whoever is ashamed of me and my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, of him the Son of Man will also be ashamed when he comes in his glory, riding on cloud dolphin. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I see there's a lot of people here. Press that follow button and that like button and that I don't remember what it's called. Repost button. Repost this. And press that like button. And chat in the chat if you have anything to say about this amazing shit talking tour that we have joined. Because we're on Jesus shit talking tour. We have decided, well, actually, I decided to join Jesus on this tour because, well, it's a fun tour until the end of it. But anyway, if nobody is doing anything or talking about anything, I am going to go ahead and go. Because, well, A, I don't have anything to say, and, well, we were all done reading. Oh, we are almost exactly at an hour. Look, in like 10 seconds. I love you guys so much.